degrees.
This is WeatherScope.
Well, that nor'easter we've been telling you about for the past day or so is hanging around much too long, throwing wind, rain, and snow across parts of the Northeast and New England. Hi, I'm Christina Abernathy. Welcome to this edition of WeatherScope. Also tonight, the mess gets worse in California after another round of wet weather. We'll have the West Coast update, but first, let's go to Warren Madden in the Forecast Center for the latest on the nor'easter. Warren?
Thanks very much, Christina. The same storm that brought the severe weather into the state of Florida not too long ago has moved up the coast, and it is slowed down to basically a crawl. And as it moves slowly northeastward, we have seen rain along the coast, heavy amounts of snow inland up over 2 feet, not too far from Binghamton, New York. But the problem in Boston today was both the rain and the wind. Look at these umbrellas take a beating. Snow stayed away, but with wind gusts up over 45 miles an hour, it was not a pleasant day to be walking around the streets of Boston, especially around the high-rises that funnel that wind down right through the streets. Temperatures only in the 30s, so it was just basically not a fun day to be around in the city of Boston. And the winds continue to howl. 39 mile an hour wind gusts right now in the Boston metro area, 36 mile an hour at Providence, and we do have warnings out from Eastport, Maine, on down to Merrimack River. Storm warnings, and then farther south, gale warnings. Joining me here in the Forecast Center is senior meteorologist Tom Moore. Tom, one of the factors that this storm really has shown over the last couple of hours is the fact that it's not moving really very fast.
No, it's not really moving. There's no storm or nothing upstream to kick it out, and there's just a little bit of a ridge of high pressure at the upper atmosphere kind of moving to the north of the system, so it's keeping it pretty much where it is. It is drifting now to the northeast just a little bit over the past couple of hours.
We can take a look at the map and see where the storm is right now, and it has pretty much been stalled out not too far from, say, Block Island, Nantucket over the last couple of hours.
Right, the pressure now just beginning to rise a little bit around Nantucket Island, which means the low may be pulling away just a little bit, and it is reducing the precipitation intensity in southern New York, central New York, down into Pennsylvania. But as you pointed out, no, it isn't, and we have a lot of wind just penetrating the coastal area and then way up into the St. Lawrence Valley with the marine air, so we don't have that cold dome of high pressure walked over New England to bring back behind this low and keep New England in the snow. Most of the precipitation in New England, especially at the lower elevations, is all rain.
And we do have quite a bit of rain out there around Boston, heading on down toward Providence. In fact, we have flood warnings out through the night for Middlesex, Norfolk, Bristol, and Plymouth counties in Massachusetts. So anywhere from up around, say, Woburn, down through Norwood, over to Braintree, down to Plymouth and Taunton and New Bedford. Watch out. especially if you live along some small streams.
Right, we've had over 3.5 inches of rain in some of these areas around the South Shore of Massachusetts, so the soil really can't tolerate that. That's beyond the toleration level, so there will be flooding tonight.
Looking ahead to what we can expect for tomorrow morning, looks like we'll still see the chance for snow back, especially into New York State. Winter storm warnings up into the Adirondacks. Do you think the snow will ever make it into the coastal areas?
It really doesn't look like it's going to make it all the way to the coast, but some of the northern and western suburbs of New York City and Boston could see a little bit of a change over to wet snow at the end of the storm, maybe an inch or so of precipitation. The heaviest snow, Adirondacks and on up into northern New England, and 26 inches of snow just south of Binghamton, New York. So this was a pretty heavy wet snowstorm, and some of that wet snow could cause some trees to break, power lines, so that could be a problem tonight.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining us, Tom. Tom Moore, senior meteorologist here at the Weather Channel. If you have to be away from your TV, you'd like to find out a little more of what's going on in New England, into the Mid-Atlantic, or across the nation, fire up the web browser, pointed at the Weather Channel's website, weather.com. We're going to take it back into the studio now. Christina Abernathy is going to fill us in on some wet weather in the western U.S. and check your forecast for your Wednesday.
Thanks, Warren. Well, California is trying to dry out and clean up after another round of wet weather, and now the same storm system is moving across Utah and Arizona. And in Phoenix, you've had rain, but also some pretty nasty storms. Take a look at this hail here falling in the Phoenix metro area. When we see hail like this, we know we're dealing with quite a serious storm. And we have also, in addition, had reports of numerous funnel clouds sighted to the north and also to the west of the Phoenix area. So take it easy out there and certainly remain alert if you live in Phoenix or the surrounding areas. Well, here's a look at the radar, and this gives you an idea of what we're dealing with here. And again, to the north and west of Phoenix, that's where we're seeing some of the worst of it at this point, around Cave Creek and around Buckeye. That's the latest report of a funnel cloud just west of Phoenix. So again, some rain and some storms. Some of the rain's been pretty heavy, and we have had some reports of flooding in the area in Maricopa County. So again, just be extra careful out there and keep in mind that there is some rough weather around. So the big picture, much of the country quiet. The Northeast, of course, one exception that Warren showed you, and then to the western U.S. where we're dealing with not only the rain and storms, but also a good bit of snow here, especially through the higher elevations. Look at the satellite view. Again, underneath the clouds here, some pretty messy weather. Back to the west, you're getting a bit of a break, and that is a very welcome break for you. Rain, though, still falling through parts of California, but again, we do think things are going to be improving for you. Here's a look at the rain once again and the storms as well. We see some of that moving into New Mexico, too, and we also see the snow to the north around Aspen, Denver. You can expect snow to be moving in, too. These